madhyamam asmadacharya paryantam vande guru paramparam. Guru Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Akhanda Mandalakaram Vyaptam Mena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
So welcome all again. Malati, would you like to do as a homework for our next Satsanga to present the meaning of the chanting that you offer each time to the rest of the Sishyas?
Pardon? I have to?
Would you like to offer to the rest of the Sishyas the meaning of the chanting that you offer to us in the next Satsanga?
Andrewji is doing that one, no?
No, I mean the meaning of the chanting, your chanting in the beginning and in the end.
Okay, okay, yes, yes, yes.
Would you like in English?
Okay, next time, next.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
So, Andrew, are you ready to read the verses for tonight? Okay, you can start.
Arjuna, the prominent among men, the person whom these sukha and duhkha do not affect, who is the same in pleasure and pain, and who is discriminative, is indeed fit for gaining liberation. For the unreal, mithya, there is never any being. For the real, there is never any non-being. The ultimate truth of both, the real and the unreal, is seen by the knowers of the truth. Know that, by which this entire world is pervaded, to be indeed indestructible. No one can bring about the destruction of that which does not change. These bodies of the embodied one, the self, which is not subject to change and destruction, and which is not available as an object of knowledge, are said to be subject to end. Therefore, Bharata, Arjuna, get up and fight. The one who thinks this self to be the killer, and the one who thinks of it as the killed, both do not know. This self does not kill, nor is it killed. This self is never born, nor does it die. It is not that, having been, it ceases to exist again. It is unborn, eternal, undergoes no change whatsoever, and is ever new. When the body is destroyed, the self is not destroyed. Partha, Arjuna, the one who knows this self to be indestructible, timeless, unborn, and not subject to decline, how and whom does that person kill? Whom does he cause to kill?
All right, thank you. So, the basic message in most of the Sanatana Dharma scriptures is this Atma, Anatma, Viveka, the discrimination between what is real and what is unreal. And we see here also in Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna also is presenting the same approach of discovering the truth. So we see appearances appearing as real, but we call them anatma, not atma. And we see also the background or the substratum where all the appearances appearing and disappearing, which is of course Brahman or Atma or the self. So Arjuna have to remember this and should fight without worrying about the killing of the physical bodies, because in reality all this is only an appearance, all this is only a dream, as it is said in Ashtavakra Gita, from Ashtavakra to Janaka. Look, all this Jagat, all this universe and all these apparent beings as a lasting dream, so lasting 3 to 5 days. So this is the point that we should grasp, that we should assimilate, that whatever we see is only an appearance, the truth is only the substratum, the self, consciousness, Brahman, and all the rest is only an appearance due to prarabdha karma. Arjuna have a particular prarabdha karma that has to be unfolded and have to be exhausted. So Krishna is gives his advice to Arjuna to allow the prarabdha karma to unfold and to focus in his real svarupa, his real nature, which is the self, which is infinite consciousness, awareness, Brahman. So for now, I would like to hear from you if something is not clear and you need some clarifications, or you have any questions, or you would like to comment. Because the verses, again, are not so complicated. They are simple. They speak about the non-existence of what we call the physical world and the real existence of reality, which is Brahman, consciousness, awareness, the self. So anybody who would like to comment? Yes, please.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Arjuna is so lucky that he got Krishna to advise him on the right time to take the right action. But everybody will not have such a opportunity or such a great person to guide them. So what should they do in the dilemma to what to do or not to do?
Look, this the very question that you do reveals also the answer, because you ask this question because you have the right prarabdha karma due to your past punya, and which means, of course, your good merit, your good karma, and you are interested for self-realization moksha. But if you will go out in your neighborhood and you will ask the people around your home, are you interested for moksha? How many people they will say, yes, I'm very much interested. I wish I would have Krishna to teach me and to guide me. How many?
No, nobody.
See, the very question that you do, it shows your punya, it shows your spiritual maturity from the previous dream lifetimes. So according to the punyam that each and every jivatma has, appearing the right teacher, the right guru for him or her. We see nowadays so many billionaires, fake gurus who are millions of followers, and all these followers, they believe that they have the right guru. And the only thing that we can say is that according to the capacity of the individual, according to the capacity of this particular jivatma, will appear the right guru, either fake guru, either high-level guru, or either the most profound guru. But again, it has to do with the spiritual maturity of each and every individual. If somebody really is ready for the most profound teaching, which is of course is Advaitam, the right guru will appear the right moment, not before. Why? Because before, the individual will not have the capacity and the right preparation to understand and to assimilate the teaching. So it is always about the punyam, about the good karma that someone has created in the past dream lifetimes. You cannot have a guru who is not according to your level of spiritual maturity. That's why when we have children, the children, when they are in the basic school, they will not betray their teachers when they will go to high school, you see, because the high school is now the right class for them. But before, they couldn't reach the teaching. They could not grasp or assimilate the classes of the high school. So they have to pass through the basic understanding, the basic school, and after, when they have the right foundation, they can go to the high school. It is the same with all these spiritual paths that they do exist, and the same with gurus and also fake gurus. It is about the level of maturity, and it is about the level of understanding and capacity. So nobody should worry at all. The right guru will appear and will provide the right teaching according to the level of capacity of the jivatma. Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Hari Om, Namaste, Nagaraj
Namaste.
here. I'm sorry, I've been having some trouble with connectivity and I joined very late.
No problem, no problem.
Coming back to Malati's question, so I believe that, we are fortunate enough to have got the lineage of Swami Sri Paramatmananda very much, at least in this particular lifetime. So when I listen to his teachings, I literally feel that Swami Krishna himself is teaching us and he is with us to guide us through. So that is the level at which our Pujya Swami Paramatmananda scoops down and teaches us, and we are grateful to be part of this satsanga as well. Thank you very much for this beautiful Sunday satsang with all of you.
Same from me also.
So you see, to have such a guru such as Swami Paramatmananda Ji is a very, very great good karma and punyam. And I myself, I've never saw anybody with such a great understanding of the scriptures and with such a capacity to transmit and to convey the essence of Advaita to the people. So I know only his guru, my guru's guru, Swami Dayananda Ji, that also he was of such a great scholarship and such a great scholar and such a great master. And of course, my gracious Jagat Gurus, who are also the authenticity of the scriptures, and everybody would go there and will take guidance and receive this authority, because who can be more in authority than the Jagat Gurus of Sringeri? So when I was there and I said to Jagat Gurus that my guru is Swami Paramarthanji, they were smiling out of satisfaction, and they were pleased to hear that my guru is Swami Paramarthanandaji. So we have such a great guru parampara, and we have such a great fortune to receive this guidance and this special grace directly from Sri Adi Sankaracharya to our days. Anybody else who would like to say something or to ask something? Yes, please. Kalman?
Yes, namaste Guruji. Namaste everyone. So you mentioned the Advaitam as being the most profound teaching, which seems to be it's a means of contrast to other teachings. Can you say more about what that means, as far as I understand, for example, and this is in my very limited capacity and knowledge at this point, not capacity, but just knowledge at this point, I was kind of more under the impression that there's one truth, but many paths to get there, with any individual path not necessarily being more profound or more true than another. So can you maybe clarify when you say Advaitam is the most profound?
Yes, Advaitam, to give you an idea of how profound it is, it is always declaring that even Advaitam is not the truth. It's the only teaching, Advaitam, that declares that even Advaitam is mithya. There is no such another teaching or a spiritual path that goes so much in this profound understanding of the truth. So Advaitam is also on the level of Vyavaharika, which means the empirical reality, what we see as a dream. And it is the only teaching, as far as I know, together with Dzogchen, that is so much profound. Advaitam starts from the point where you have to see what is real and what is not real. And from starting, you have this, first of all, understanding that I should find out who am I. So Advaitam starts from the most important subject, which is to declare to you that you are not the body-mind complex. You are not a human being. You believe you are a human being. You believe you are an individual, an illusory ego. and comes Advaitam, and from the first second will give you a shock and will say, you do not exist as a human being, you do not exist as an individual, as an illusory ego, as a person, as a body-mind complex, and your real nature, your real self is infinite, personal, impersonal consciousness, awareness, Brahman. As far as I know, the only profound teaching that it starts like that is only Dzogchen, which is also the most profound path that I have ever seen in my life. But Advaitam goes even one step further to the beyond and is declaring that even Advaitam is in the level of mithya, in the level of vyavaharika. What is vyavaharika? It is the teaching which deals with the dream that we are looking. And there is also the paramartika teaching, the reality, which is the real reality, which is Brahman, which is the absolute or transcendental wisdom. So except Brahman, except consciousness, awareness, there is no anything else. But first, you see that and you understand that perhaps in a mental level, you can receive it even only as an information from Advaitam. But Advaitam have so much techniques and so many methods and so many ways to convey this truth for you and to make you gradually realize that truth, make this truth to be assimilated completely in the heart of your heart, and to finally to be your own truth and not only an information. So there are many classes, there are many levels of understanding in Advaita Vedanta, but this is unique in Advaita Vedanta. It starts really from the most profound declaration: you are not the body-mind complex. There are no beings. There is no universe. Jagat is mithya. The apparent beings is mithya. Everything is impermanent. Everything is illusion. Everything is only an appearance. And the only truth, the only reality is Brahman, consciousness, awareness. So it is really for the special ones, the Jivatmas who are probably in their last dream lifetime, in their last reincarnation, and not for the masses. Advaitam cannot be grasped by anybody. It needs a real preparation. It needs a very, very unique karma, punya karma, very good karma, to enter, even to meet a guru or these teachings. And of course, in other parts, they may say the same, that we have the most profound teaching. But if somebody will look with sincerity, the profound teachings of Advaita Vedanta will very quickly see that there is such a depth of this teaching that it's not even easy to grasp it from the beginning. And of course, that's why we have these levels of this process, which is Sravanam, listening to the teaching under a competent guru in a true lineage, Guru Parampara. Then we have Mananam, which is the clarification of the doubts of the previous teaching and solving your questions. And then finally, we have the nididhyasanam or Vedantic meditation, where you can assimilate this profound teaching. So this teaching goes straight away in your true nature, your true self. It is about self-knowledge. It is not about preparation. In Advaita, we suppose that you have already did Chitta Shuddhi, purification of the mind. We suppose that you did all for many, many millions of lifetimes. You did enough puja, you did enough Vedic rituals, you did enough meditation, you may did enough japa mala, karma yoga, upasana, and now you are ready to go to the transcendental, to the beyond. And that's why you can see that the people who are following Advaita are not so many. There may be not more than 5 jivatmas, 5 individuals in every country, not more. Maybe in India, there may be 1,000, but not more, who are really understanding this teaching. So out of 1,300,000,000, I guess, for the population of India, I'm sure there are no more than 1,000 jivatmas who really understand what means Advaita. They may believe they understand, but if you ask them and if you let them speak to you about their understanding, the only thing that you will hear will be Dvaita. They will speak about the Vedic rituals they do. They will speak about the japamala they do with the mantra. They will speak about their pujas. They will speak about Bhagavad Gita. But if you will start asking them, what about Astavakra Gita? What about Ribu Gita? What about Avaduta Gita? Or even Prakarana Granthas like Viveka Chudamani or Tattva Bodha or Atma Bodha, they have no idea. They have no idea. And even if they heard these names, these works, or these treatises of Adi Sankaracharya, they don't know the meaning and they don't know the essence. So it is really very, very profound teaching. And it needs a lot of dedication. It needs a real guru who is pure, who is not asking anything from you, and who had a real guru himself, and his guru a real guru himself, and so on and so forth. And the final refuge will be in the Guru Parampara and the blessings and the grace of our Guru Parampara. And of course, you have this secure environment when you are in the Guru Parampara. If the Guru will leave the physical body, you can discover another Guru in the same Guru Parampara and go further and further to your understanding, into your understanding. Yes,
Hariom Guruji. Hariom Guruji.
Hariom.
If I can suggest a small advice for this particular group, as you are already aware that the Hinduism is broadly classified into 3 sectors: the Shaivism, the Vaishnavism, and the Shaktism, and all the 3 branches start from the grosser level to the ultimate infinity level, which is the Advaitam. All the 3 sectors are promoting Advaitam when it culminates to the infinity. So as a small advice, being away from India, would it be nice that if there can be one session, one satsang, which will actually talk about what is a gross element within ourselves. That is, we are not the body. So what do we mean by we are not the body? Our body consists of karmendriyas, jnanendriyas, tanmatras. Okay, so these are Sanskrit definitions. Perhaps, my thought is that, perhaps, we could make others understand what they exactly are. How is the prana within these body elements, and what is prana connected to the cosmic consciousness, and how we traverse from the how the prana connects to the cosmic consciousness. If that can be explained to the rest of the group, they would understand what exactly is Advaitam, and how the whole system traverses from the duality to the non-duality and then culminates to the infinite consciousness. So I don't know if, I'm sorry, I'm not the guru, but I thought I could just give a suggestion. If that is fine with you, perhaps you can take this. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Yes, it is very nice your notion, but we did already the Tattva Bodha, where we have been dealing with this subject. But if you would like to do a presentation for us in our next Satsanga, that will be very wonderful, and you are welcome to offer to us, to present to us a nice presentation, and after that we can continue with questions and answers and work on your presentation. So would you like to do that?
Yeah, fair enough. I think I would just need a little bit of time for preparing myself for the presentation. So
Sure.
I will connect with you directly, and we'll fix a date when I can do that presentation.
Yes, very nice, very nice. You are most welcome.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Yes, Malati?
This is really a silly question in dualism. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir-bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam sujamaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. It means when there is a loss of dharma, when there is a when iniquity increases, then I come to protect the gentleman, to destroy the wicked and to re-establish the dharma. He says, but in present scenario in the world, it is really, whether it is in Afghanistan or North Korea and like that, people are really suffering a lot. So isn't it right time for the God to come and to take a new avatara to establish the dharma?
Look, the plans of Isvara are not easy to comprehend. So there may be a lot of suffering in the planet, and there may be a lot of problems. But we saw that also in the ancient years in Mahabharata and also in Ramayana, that a lot of suffering was continued for many years. But at the mature time, the avatara did appear. So for sure, avatars will continue to appear and to propagate the right teaching and the Dharma. And we can see, of course, that in our days, the Dharma is not in a good stand. And instead of Dharma, we see only injustice. We see the ruling of global elite in the planet, and we don't see really justice. But we have to consider that all this in the humanity is a kind of karma, because if in the planet, if in the society still exists so much sin and so much injustice, what you expect? If people are still involved in pedophilia, for example, or people are still so much sinful in many cases, or people are interested for wealth and karma and artha, and nobody is interested for dharma, nobody is interested for moksha, then this is a kind of punishment for humanity, because humanity, we can see, is in a very low level. So we are in this Kali Yuga, where there is a lot of sin, a lot of things against Dharma. But sooner or later, there will be a change. And of course, we all hope for that. But you know, there has to be a lot of suffering for the humanity to awake. You know, it is a kind of awakening process. When somebody, for example, is having everything all right in all sectors of his life, let's say his career or her career is wonderful, the family sector is wonderful, the health sector is wonderful, the social sector is wonderful, then this person does not care for awakening. It's a kind of drunk. He or she becomes drunk and just enjoy his or her life. But what about when a person have a lot of suffering, a lot of problems, and he have to deal with a very big disaster? Then suddenly there is an awakening process, correct? So this is what we see now in the planet. We see so much suffering, but with sooner or later, this suffering will lead to the total awakening of the planet, because the suffering will increase more and more, and the problems will be more and more. So there is no other solution than for humanity to awake. And of course, what we do in our lives, as an example, also plays a very big role, because wherever we live, we can spread the light. And wherever there is darkness, if you open up a match, if you just open a candle, what happens with the darkness? It disappears. So in your neighborhood, in your city, in your country, you do whatever you can, and by that you create the right example for your fellow citizens who are living in your particular area. So, sorry for that. So the problem is that people don't understand that the change have to start with themselves. So what are you doing for the society, for your country, for the Dharma? Are you the greatest example of Dharma? Are you leading a life according to Dharma? How is your activity with your family members? How is your actions in your job? Do you promote the teachings? Do you promote love? Do you offer love everywhere? So we have, first of all, to be the right example. And also we have to gain strength with a spiritual lifestyle, doing spiritual practice, study the scriptures, following a nice guru, following the guru parampara, and become the best example. And about the planet and about the society, it is not really our business, you know. For example, many times they were going to Ramana Maharishi and they were asking him, and how we can solve the problems of others, the problems in the planet. And Ramana Maharishi used to say one only phrase, 2 words, 3 words: there are no others. So in reality, there are no others. There is only consciousness, And if we focus on that, everything will be great. Because in reality, there are no others. Everything is mithya, jagan mithya. And consciousness is the only refuge. When somebody is in the deep sleep without dreams, there are no wars, there is no society, there is no planet, there is no injustice, there are no others, there is no universe, but something is there. And this something is our true nature, this Satchitananda or Turiyam. And that Turiyam is the only reality, the only truth. Okay. So, yes, Kalma?
Yes, thank you for that, for the original answer and the follow-up. When you said that Advaita kind of sees, if I understood correctly, kind of like questions itself, and that speaks to the profundity of it. If I was understanding correctly, in the sense that even this right now is Dvaitam. Even this right now has dualistic, is dualistic. So is that what you meant by kind of Advaitam questioning itself, that even this interaction about Advaita is Dvaita?
Yes, all this teaching is also mithya, is impermanent, and it is on the level of vyavaharika, the dream appearances. Because in reality, you are nitya mukta, you are eternally free, you are eternally self-realized and enlightened. And you are the only one, enlightened one, which is consciousness, Brahman awareness. There is nobody who came embodied and nobody who went to moksha, self-realization. Why? Because in the first place, there is nobody. So who would be embodied and who would gain moksha? If in the first place, there are no beings. But the problem is that you don't see that. And since somebody don't see that and cannot comprehend that, cannot swallow that, there is this need of a path, of a guru parampara, of a guru, of spiritual practices, of chitta shuddhi, purification of the mind, and so on and so forth. Shastram study, leading a spiritual lifestyle, living with Dharma, all are these helpful to prepare you enough to arrive in this recognition and conviction that nothing ever happened, nothing will ever happen, and what there is only this infinity, this Brahman consciousness awareness. But again, if you cannot see that, you need all these, what the scriptures are prescribing, until you will become ready, of course, for this truth. Because if you don't see the truth, it's not enough to say, yes, I heard from a guru or from the scriptures that there is only one consciousness, one Brahman. I heard about that. But the point is not to have that only as an information, as a data. The point is to see that and to become your own truth, your own understanding, and your own assimilation. And until this mature stage, all the prescription of the Vedas and of Sanatana Dharma is helpful. But yes, Advaitam declares that Advaitam is also mithya. Advaitam is the only path that says for itself that I am also an illusion. I'm also in the level of the dream. And that is the uniqueness of Advaita. It's the only path that deletes itself. Of course, it deletes itself for the mature one. If you are not mature yet, Advaitam is the final path to transcendental wisdom and absolute truth. There is no other path such as Advaita, which can lead you in the final recognition and conviction of your own Svarupa as Brahman, as Satchitananda, of the nature of Satchitananda. Okay. So let's close with guided meditation. Please follow the guided meditation also in your home and try to repeat the instructions in your own self. And not only to do this kind of Vedantic meditation only every Sunday in our Satsanga, but instead try to practice as often as possible, preferably when you wake up in the morning and before you go to sleep. Please try to repeat the Mahavakyams, the great statements, such as Aham Brahmasmi or Tate Tvam Asi, as often as possible, and in particular early in the morning when you wake up and before you go to sleep. So take a comfortable posture, close your eyes such as you want to go to sleep without tension in your eyelids. Keep your torso vertical. But again, without tension. It is very important, the spine to be vertical with the ground. You can use a familiar mudra that you use in your meditations, such as Chin Mudra or Gyan Mudra. Become aware of the entire physical body, starting from your toes, the toes of the physical body, and going upwards, screening the physical body with your presence. Relax each and every part of the physical body until you reach Sahasrara Chakra on the top of the head. You may use a white liquid light, visualizing that with this light you relax completely each and every part of the physical body. You may visualize the Annamaya Kosha, the physical body now full of this white liquid light, completely relaxed. And now you can deal with the Pranamaya Kosha, relaxing and controlling with the breathing. Become aware of the inhalation and exhalation, but in particular in the pause in between. So become aware mostly in the pause before an inhalation or an exhalation. Very, very slowly, become aware now of the mana maya kosa, the mind body. And that means become aware of the appearances in the mind, all the thoughts, the pictures, everything that appears and disappears in the mind. Become aware mostly of the pause or the space in between one thought and another. Allow the thoughts to self-liberate themselves. Do not give them any importance or continuity. Just see when they appear and disappear, but do not become attached to them. After dealing with the mana maya kosa, the mind body, you can deal with vijnana maya kosa, the intelligent body. One way is to focus and to put your intention for moksha, seeing the truth of your real self, real nature. Remember all the Mahavakyams, or the most important, such as Aham Brahmasmi, Tat Tvam Asi. Declare inside yourself, I'm not the Panchakosas, I'm not my thoughts, I'm not the emotions, the physical body, the energy body, the mind body, the intelligent body, or even the Ananda Maya Kosa, the body of bliss. All these are only mechanisms, all these are appearances in me, consciousness, awareness, Brahman. If you have difficulty to recognize your infinite nature as beginningless, endless Brahman, awareness, consciousness, and you still believe that you are an individual, an illusory ego or person, try to find such a person or an ego or an individual. It is like looking inside yourself, trying to discover the so-called individual, person, or ego. If you do this inquiry with sincerity and honesty, you will end up in the recognition that there is no such thing as a person, an individual, or an ego. That is only ahankara, the I thought, just a delusion. Look inside yourself and see that there is a space-like field where everything appears and disappears. And this space-like field remains always unchanging, unmoving, always the same. It is a substratum with no beginning or end. Become aware of this Saksi Chaitanya, this witnessing consciousness. You may ask yourself, what is that which is now listening, knows that it exists, and where is that principle? Can I localize it? Indeed, there is something here which knows this particular current experience. This witnessing consciousness is imprisoned in the fleshy stuff in the skull, in the brain. Can it really imprisoned? Can it be really somewhere contained? This witnessing consciousness, which is here and now, does it change? Is it a human being? Is it a female or a male? Does it have an age? Did it have ever a birth? A beginning point, a starting point? This Satchitananda witnessing consciousness, does it have a shape or form, such as the shape of the brain or the shape of what I call my physical body? This Satchitananda or Turiyam, this witnessing consciousness or substratum, does it have any attributes? Does it have a taste, a smell, a touch, a sound, or a shape? Do not try to give mental answers to these questions. Instead, look deeply in your own self. It is like you want to see inside you what is there. If you don't think, indeed, nothing is there. Your first impression will be sunyatam, emptiness. You look inside what you call my mind or my physical body, and the only thing that you can find is emptiness and presence. But do the leap and go beyond and ask yourself, what is aware of this emptiness, sunyatam? And what is aware of this presence? Aham brahmasmi, aham brahmasmi, aham brahmasmi. And very slowly, while you keep your eyes closed, start moving the physical body consciously with small movements. Move the torso, your hands, your fingers, but with conscious manner. And very, very slowly take a deep inhalation. Hold as much as it is comfortable. And exhale slowly through your nostrils. And after you did that 2 more times, total 3, open your eyes, stay unmovable, and become aware of this Turiyam witnessing consciousness, Satschitananda, for the next 1-2 minutes. All right, and who would like to give us the chanting for tonight to close our Satsanga? Malati?
ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम थैंक यू
Thank you.
so nice.
Hari Om, thank you.
Thank you.